Hi, my name is Kristen and today I'm going to tell you what to look at when buying a house. Purchasing a house is so exciting and such a whirlwind. But if it's your first time, or even if it's just been a while, there are likely things you haven't considered in your home buying process. Some of these things might be obvious, but many of them can save you time and even money. So let's jump right in. Number 1, can I afford a house? I know, this is obvious, but so overlooked. The market right now is crazy hot and also in a huge bubble. Everyone has been saving up, they're not going out, they're not going on vacation, and they want to put down roots. I love it, but also you want to be smart about it. Google any monthly mortgage calculator and find out how much your monthly expenses will be. Does that include utilities? Remember, heating and cooling a single-family home is going to be more expensive than an apartment. Most mortgage lenders will be happy to walk you through the money side of things. After all, they're on the line too. My whole point is not don't buy, it's just choose something you can afford. For us, it was really important that we bought a house that we could, 1, afford to renovate, because the absolute worst thing would be to buy a fixer-upper only to run out of money and us not be able to fix it up. And 2, being able to afford the house on just one of our salaries. This actually did end up being a huge one because I left my job a couple months ago for the first time in my life. We wouldn't have had that option if we bought a house that required 2 incomes to make the mortgage. Number 2, schools. Don't just pay attention to the school district, but the actual schools themselves. Depending on your area, the quality of the schools within the same district can vary drastically. Don't have kids? Don't plan to get them? It gives you a little bit more wiggle room, but you still have to think about resale value. The fact of the matter is, the better the schools are, the better the resale value on your house. Number 3, do you need the 20% down payment, or is mortgage insurance an option for you? This is one I didn't even think about until my husband told me he did it on his first townhouse. So we're raised to believe that you need 20% down in order to buy a house, right? But let's say you're looking for a house that's $300,000. That means you need $60,000 for your down payment, and let's say another $15,000 in closing costs, and that's before any kind of renovation. Do you have $70,000 laying around? Because I know we didn't. Mortgage insurance essentially allows you to buy the house without needing the full 20%. Many mortgage lenders will let you put down as little as 5% or even 3.5% if you're a first-time home buyer. However, there are some factors you need to consider when taking this route. First, the lower percentage down, the higher your mortgage payment's going to be. Secondly, it's called insurance for a reason. There is a fee attached to it, but it is small. Let's say for that $300,000 home, we put down 10% or $30,000. Our mortgage insurance would cost us about $245 a month until we've paid into the mortgage enough to equal the 20%. We ran a break-even analysis to see how much of a down payment would make financial sense for us. If you're considering home renovations like a new kitchen or new bathrooms, these can also help get rid of your mortgage insurance faster. Once the work is complete, getting your home reappraised should increase the value of your home and in turn increase the equity in your home. Just be smart about what renovations you're going to be doing first. Do some research and determine what renovations are going to bring the most value to your home. That brings me to another one. Number 4, are my renos realistic? Not all walls can come down easily. Renos can get very costly, so make sure you know what you're taking on before you purchase. I wanted to create this beautiful moment in the front of our house with these giant windows on each side of our front door. Then I learned that because the front of our house is brick, it would require a stonemason to come out and do the demo, on top of the structural engineer that would be required to come put in the large header that we would need in order to support these giant windows. Our estimate ended up being $15,000 before the windows even got priced. Pretty? Yes. Worth it? No. And from experience, every project is going to be more of a challenge than you think it's going to be. Number 5, can I add my reno budget into my mortgage late in the game? The short answer, not really. Honestly, I just assumed that you could tack on a little something to your mortgage to cover renos at any point in the home buying process. Turns out that would actually be a completely different type of loan and likely harder to get because you don't have any equity in your home and you don't have any other collateral, or at least we didn't. If you're looking to add money into your mortgage to support your renovations, make sure you do it from the very beginning. If you get approved for a $300,000 mortgage and that's the cost of the house, that's all the money you're getting, unless you start the entire loan process over, which could very well delay settlement. Number 6, have I moved money around in my bank account recently? This one was such a pain. For those of you that don't know us, Kevin and I got married in February and then bought our house in April. We had deposited all of our wedding gift money just like any other couple would. But then when it came to financing a couple months later, these guys were like forensic accountants. We needed to track down an explanation for every inbound payment during that time period. Such a pain. The reason they do this is they want to make sure that you actually have the money to pay for the mortgage yourself, and you're not just inflating your assets to make it appear like you can. I get it. but buyer beware. It's really annoying, so avoid it leading up to your purchase if you can. Number 7, do the homes in my area have a history of issues? A friend of mine bought a house and the inspection came back clean. It was only when she went to replace the floors that a local installer told her that the houses in the area all have asbestos underneath the existing parquet flooring. All of a sudden, she's paying $3,400 to have a team come out and remove the old flooring and get rid of the asbestos. And she had to figure out where to live during that time, because you can't stay there. Asbestos isn't the only thing that can come up. Radon and lead are other common issues that might pop up that won't necessarily show up on a home inspection. Do your research on the area. When was the house built? What other materials are used? You may even be able to negotiate the price of the house down a little bit. Number 8, crime. It may sound obvious, but it needs to be said. What is the crime rate in your area? Look out for petty theft all the way up to violent crimes in your area, as well as checking the sex offender registry. It can be shocking what's going on in your future backyard. Number 9, what things do you have to buy for your house right away? We moved into our home from a townhouse, and one thing that wasn't even close to being on our radar was a lawnmower. I can tell you from experience that it's not ideal to be the new kids in the neighborhood, and 2 weeks in, already being the unkept lawn house. Do an inventory of what you'll need when you move in. If the appliances are all being left behind, do they work? Our dryer didn't from day one, which means that we had to create a clothesline in the basement for 2 weeks while we waited for the new dryer to come in. Number 10, how close is the nearest grocery store? What about hardware store? The grocery store you'll probably think of, but don't underestimate how many times you're gonna run to the hardware store in the first couple of months at your new place. Is that going to be a 15-minute drive? Or a 35-minute drive? Of course you're not gonna not decide to buy a house just because it's not close to a Home Depot. Well, maybe. But it's good to know what you're getting yourself into, especially if you plan on doing a lot of renovations to the house. Even if your home is move-in ready, be prepared. Owning a home always has upkeep, and you'd be surprised at what actually needs to get fixed. Number 11, is the house gas or electric? Knowing if your house is gas or electric is more than just knowing if you're gonna have a gas range or a fireplace. It's gonna determine how much your electric bill is gonna cost each month. If you're going from gas to electric, that's gonna be a huge shift that you need to be prepared for. Can't live without gas? You may wanna look at getting a propane tank so you can have some of those creature comforts that you're used to having. Used to having electric? Do some research into what having gas means, such as maybe getting a gas detector for your home. Buying a home is going to be such an exciting time, but don't add the added stress of learning as you go. Applying these helpful tips on what to look at when buying a house will make the experience even better. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know, what other tips do you have? Let me know in the comments below. Good luck!